Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. This is Ed McMahon along with Doc Severinsen and the NBC Orchestra inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Buddy Hackett, John Lithgow, and another segment of Moron Movies. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
You thought this was the Michael Jackson concert, didn't you? Thank you very much. You sound in a good mood. I thank you. That's very nice of you. Welcome to Jokes Are Us. By the way, since it's the Christmas season, some assembly is required of these jokes. Did you ever buy one of those toys for your kids where it says some assembly is required?
Yeah.
Provided you went to MIT and had an engineering degree. I know why you're so happy. You're just glad you're not in a department store right now. Have you been shopping? It is mayhem out there. Women shop... Now, I don't want to sound chauvinistic, but women shoppers are more violent than men. I was in the May Company the other day. I was shoved, pushed, groped, manhandled. I'm going back tomorrow. That's right. We did a joke a couple of weeks ago about McDonald's, and they took it good-humoredly, kind of. So I should really do a nice plug for McDonald's. Yeah. You know they have a place in Beverly Hills? You ever been to the Beverly Hills McDonald's?
No.
They serve escargot. Oh. They're called McSlugs. Okay. That gets us off the hook for McDonald's. Christmas has to be very close because all the vacant lots have been vacant for Chuck moves in. This Chuck is all over the place. Chuck's Christmas trees, you see, they sprout up only at Christmas, and the rest of the year, they're empty except with a card table where H&R Block sets up. Weird thing. I don't know about you. Been shopping?
Yes.
I don't know about you. It's December, what, 11 today?
Yes.
My Visa card is already on the critical list. But Christmas in Los Angeles is the time of year that family gets together and puts Rust-Oleum on their aluminum trees. See, in California, they use aluminum trees. I thought I was headed for a big night. Oh, NBC, the Christmas specials are starting. Now, a lot of them are. They're nice, they're traditional, but they jump on any excuse to do one. NBC has a big holiday special on tonight. Mike Hammer's Christmas in the Slammer. That's really taking advantage. Post office is doing a great job this year. I got my Christmas card from the White House, and I wanted Teddy and Mrs. Roosevelt standing on the White House lawn. or a fine-looking couple. Have you noticed the holiday season something strange happens on television? All the commercials on television are either for wine, right, or alcohol rehabilitation clinics. Kind of interesting. There is a new version of Dickens' Christmas Carol that's being updated to make it more relevant. In this version, Scrooge says, I think Ronald Reagan is going to play him. He says, well, Tiny Tim, I'm going to have to cut back on your crutch subsidy. Did you see the Christmas present already picked out by Nancy Reagan for the president? She's getting him a pickup truck. Yeah, for Christmas, for the ranch. And they're going to name it, Oh, What a Feeling 1. Mrs. Reagan thought the president was ready for a pickup truck when she saw him last vacation on the ranch simonizing his horse. It's a nice gift, really. I just hope she doesn't buy it from the Defense Department. That could run a bundle. There's phone company. The phone company announced today that since the 818 area code went into effect, not one person has called the Valley. The 8-1 area code has been a boon to Hollywood bachelors. Because as soon as a girl gives you her telephone number, you know that she's a geographic undesirable. No. Shouldn't kid the Valley. It's a nice place out here. Did you see the lighting of the Christmas tree on the White House lawn the other day? Very interesting. They do not have a star on top this year. They're using Tip O'Neill's nose. We're getting everybody tonight, aren't we? Mr. Rogers entertained at the White House. Actually did this weekend. And the president asked Mr. Rogers why his show was no longer on the air. And Mr. Rogers said, "Can you say budget cuts to the arts?" Now, the president and the first lady have a new dog. Do you know that? Dog, you know the name? It was in the paper. Lucky, you're right. The dog is called Lucky. And the president got very angry the other day. It was a press conference. He got angry when he misunderstood a reporter's question. The reporter asked Reagan if he got lucky in the Oval Office. You know the big ripoff going around this Christmas? What is being, well, what's the word I want? Copied?
Copy.
Cabbage Patch Dolls, which I guess are as hot an item this year as they were last year. People cannot get them. They stand in line everywhere. They are, what's the word I want? Ripping the transfer, counterfeiting. Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Counterfeiting.
What?
Counterfeiting.
Didn't I just say counterfeiting? They're counterfeiting Cabbage Patch. You know how you can tell the counterfeits from the original Cabbage Patch Dolls? Counterfeit dolls are uglier. If I get the joke out, it's not too bad, but they tried to counterfeit the Michael Jackson doll. Didn't work. You wind it up and made one little mistake. It walks forward. One interesting bit of news, if you're an astronomy buff, scientists, I believe, at Kitt Peak in Arizona, think they may have found, for the first time, they don't know yet for sure, the first planet outside of our solar system. Interesting. They've been searching for years. It's 21 light years away, which translates to 163 trillion miles. You know how far that is? Give you an idea. It would take Dr. Carl Sagan 10 years to count to 163 trillion if he went 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion. It would take him 10 years. Okay, let's see. Okay, you're in a great mood. Thank you. You're in a good mood. One of the funniest men in the world tonight is with us, Mr. Buddy Hackett. We have fine actor, has been in many motion pictures. Will be out here to join us. John Lithgow is with us. And we have some more of those little, very small, I guess you'd call them, well,
mini movies.
Mini movies. We call them Moron movies. They're just crazy little things. We have some of those. And what else do we have?
That's about it.
Well, don't make it look like it's a handout. This is a biggie. Thank you for coming. We'll be right back. Thank you. Oh, you're hot. Thank you.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
I just found the greatest present for Mom and Dad. I'm trying it out right now. Yes, it's a real neat one-piece phone. It memorizes 10 phone numbers, hangs up when you put it down, has a 16-foot cord, and it was on sale for only $19.95. It'd be great in Dad's workshop. Of course, they could always keep it in my room.
The 10-memory phone on sale for $19.95. Only at Radio Shack.
Broccoli. Don't look like broccoli to me.
Well, that's Pepperidge Farm broccoli. Only they grow vegetables and pastry, like cauliflower with cheese, or broccoli, wrapped in flaky pastry, then frozen fresh.
How clever. Vegetables and pastry.
Yep, grown with care. You see, Pepperidge Farm still remembers that simple things make better food.
But how do they pick them?
Great group.
Yeah, that's a nice audience. People get in a festive mood this time of year. It's tough to get in a festive mood in California for Christmas. We have rain, we have no snow, but it's getting close. What was I going to say? I pronounced John Lithgow's name, John Lithgow, and it's John Lithgow. Will you with us? Buddy Hackett, some Moron movies. Anything to report?
Nothing. Everything's fine.
Nice article in this week's People magazine about you and Star Search.
Oh, thank you, yes.
Yeah, very nice.
Picked up for another year? That's not bad, huh?
You have a little something on the side?
Oh, a tiny bit, yes.
You've got things all over, haven't you?
Man must keep comfortable. If he has expensive tastes.
Really?
You know about that.
As you may well know, I have to moonlight. You don't. I go right from here to the night manager at Taco Bell. That's all mine. Anyways, you probably know our executive producer on the show, Fred DeCordova, has a long career working with people.
Yes.
He has worked with such stars as Burns and Allen, Jack Benny,
Fred McMurray.
Fred McMurray, Errol Flynn, Ronald Reagan, the president.
Yes.
Matter of fact, people think I joke about this. Fred directed probably the most popular Bonzo picture, Bedtime for Bonzo,
Yes.
which is now a cult picture all over the world. He has also dated, or did, not also now.
Yeah, better not.
He dated some of Hollywood's most glamorous actresses, including Joan Crawford, Ava Gardner, Lana Turner. The man has been busy.
Yeah. Wonder he's still alive.
Yes. Just a few weeks ago, a super agent out here in town, Irving Lazar, represented Fred for the publication of his autobiography. And the reason he can write it well is because he has the discipline. I've never had the discipline of keeping a diary. The man keeps a daily diary over the years.
For how many years, Fred?
52. Well, it's been a long time.
52
it's
years.
Longer than you think.
Really?
We got a copy.
This is a rare advance copy?
This is also to promote the book. Let's be honest. We promote the book. I'm going to share with you some excerpt from Fred's diary. Now, these are in no chronological order. They're just kind of excerpts at random, so let's see what we have here. Let's see now. I just marked some, put clips on here.
That was a good idea.
Let's see. As I say, they're not in chronological order. September 25th, 1971. I don't think my new boss, Johnny Carson, will be easy to work for. When he asked me why I was 2 hours late for work this morning, I told him I fell down a flight of stairs. He said, that doesn't take 2 hours. Dear Diary, today a prudential agent turned me down for life insurance. They have this silly rule that you have to be younger than The Rock. Let's see. Dear Diary, last night I went to see the Jacksons' victory tour. Andrew should make a fine president. Fred's...
You're longer than I thought.
September 30th, 1950. Yeah, September 30th, 1950. Went to Johnny's wedding. That's right. July 9th, 1948. Today, I finally got to meet the great Babe Ruth. I'll have to set my alarm clock tonight so I can return the babe before the funeral director gets to work. He was also weird.
Yeah.
December the 12th, 1975. Went Christmas shopping. For the mailman, I bought a bottle of scotch. For the guard at the gate, I bought a bottle of scotch. For Ed McMahon, I had all the liquid sucked out of Scotland.
Woo!
Took Joan... Hey, now we're getting somewhere. Took Joan Crawford to dinner tonight. Joan hired a very strange babysitter. Don't remember his name. The Marquis de somebody. November 16th, 1962. Went to Johnny's wedding. I told him the second time's the charm. December 24th, 1982. Christmas Eve is a beautiful time here at the show. The sounds of carols being sung by staff members I've just fired cleaning out their desks. October 8th, 1962. I gave Ed a new opening line, "Here's Johnny." This should work much better than the line he's been using, "Let's have a warm hand for the gray-haired Protestant." When you used to open the show, we did that for about a month and it never caught on. Dear Diary, sometimes I miss the carefree days of my youth, sitting on my father's burro while he peddled coffee beans to Christopher Columbus. June 8th, 1951, the NBC commissary serves its first meal, leftovers. It's the day it opened. April 9th. The date's a little blurred. Pandemonium erupted after Lincoln got shot in Ford's Theater. But all ends well, as I was able to get a refund on my ticket. Let's see. March 26, 1977. I remember this. I came down hard on Johnny today. I told him if he didn't do things my way, that's perfectly all right with me. June 6, 1984, Janet and I, his lovely wife, Janet and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. I gave her something silver, which I found in the barn of the Lone Ranger's horse. Dear Diary, date night and I've got no one. I think I'll call Carmen Miranda and ask to borrow her hat. Carmen Miranda is not with us any longer. Dear Diary, well, I lost my little black book. That's where I keep the names of little black people. Dear Diary, I wish this Civil War would hurry up and end. It's getting very hot wearing a blue and a gray suit every day. September 30th, 1972. Went to Johnny's wedding. I'm sick of that. Well, there's one here it's really too embarrassing. Anyway, those are... Sure, okay. Dear Diary, I'm thinking of getting contact lenses. Tonight was very embarrassing. No. Let me see. Okay, those are some excerpts from Fred's diary. We'll be back with Buddy Hackett in just a moment. And some more on movies.
Smile! Is that the new Nikon? Yes. Get in there and I'll get your picture. Just push the button.
Announcing the Nikon One Touch.
Oh, is that the Nikon? Let me.
A lightweight 35mm camera that anyone can use.
Just push.
Is that the new Nikon?
Just push.
Even if they've never picked one up before.
Just push.
The autofocus, auto flash, auto everything Nikon One Touch. Now everyone can take great pictures.
Say cheese!
Green Giant entrees. The taste of today. Green Giant goodness. Green Giant goodness. Light. Fresh. Today, Green Giant is cooking your way. Taste, taste, taste. Ho, ho, ho. That Green Giant goodness really shows.
Before Buddy Hackett comes out, this might be a good place to do the Moron movies because they're a little off the wall also. These are from Lensella, back in Philadelphia, and they're short, homemade, off the wall, bizarre little episodes. With films with titles like How to Kick Yourself, Another Use for a Bad President, and How to Survive a Public Toilet. Those are some of the titles. So watch the monitor. Here are Lencella's Moron movies.
Getting rid of the raisins. The cheat. A cook's punishment in hell. How to strike out. Throw the ball up, wait till it hits the ground, and then swing. You miss it every time. The chicken comedian. Poor man's remote control. How to discourage pickpockets. How to know if you're ugly. You're ugly if you have to lift your nose to eat. Rules were meant to be broken. The rule says you can read the articles, but you can't look at the dirty pictures.
Okay, those are from Len Sellon. You break? We'll take a break, and Buddy Hackett will join us in a moment.
Up in the Rockies, I found a place where people really take pride in their craft.
My granddad made these.
They're beauties.
We'll see how they're made. Got some hot coffee on?
That's good coffee.
That's Maxwell House. Decaffeinated.
If a decaffeinated coffee tastes this good, good to the last drop, it couldn't be anything but Maxwell House. Looks like you got a customer.
Oh, that's my granddad. He's just checking up.
It couldn't be anything but Maxwell House.
My daughter calls it the Blue Bomber. My wife thinks I ought to get rid of it. And when it needed a new muffler, well, I was afraid she might be right.
Listen, I don't want to spend too much on this car.
Midas had a muffler that was perfect for my budget. Now the old Blue Bomber sounds almost as good as new. And heck, she doesn't look that bad.
Just a Midas touch.
We finally returned. All right, my first guest. First guest is a good friend, and I've been laughing at Buddy Hackett for 25 or 30 years. And he opens at the Concord on December 30th, and then he'll be at Caesars in Atlantic City on the 31st. Would you welcome, please, Mr. Buddy Hackett? First of all...
Hiya, Doc. Hiya, guys.
Hey, Buddy!
Good.
What a surprise you didn't tell me you won the Masters.
I didn't even get to play in the Masters. Did you ever see me play golf?
We played together many years ago. I had just taken it up. I didn't take golf up until, like, 1964, 65. We went to...
Englewood
Country Club?
Yeah.
You played better than I did.
Well,
Yeah.
if you want to recall what happened that day, it was terrific. I had 6 pars in a row, and we come to the 7th hole was a water hazard, and I made a bogey, 1 over. Now, I had never played that good in my life. And I looked at John, I said, "You're bad luck," and I threw my clubs in the pond. And he's wondering, how good does this guy play? He's 1 over par.
I get it.
But I knew I could never keep it up or anything like that.
You still play?
No, I don't. Well, I play once in a while, but it just doesn't have the magic anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be able to hit the ball for my size about 230, 235 yards. Was not bad. Then I started hitting about 220. Then I got down to around 209. And then just around 200. And I'm getting crazy, and I flew to see Jimmy DeMeritt, who's passed away last year. One of the great golfers, 3-time winner of the Masters, twice runner-up in the Open. He was the guy who used to talk with first Southern accent.
That, right.
Yes, he used to say. I once said to him, "Is golf better than booze and broads?" And he looked at me and says, "Well, young fella, I've been playing golf, man and boy, for 34 years. To get money for booze and broads." And that was...
He was a nice man.
I went to see Jimmy. I flew to Champions Golf Course in Houston.
Right.
And I said, Jimmy said, "What's the matter, old Podsy? What's the matter, Podsy boy?" You like that Southern talk?
Yeah, I like that.
I learned in the Army, Southern. I was from Brooklyn. I didn't know. First time I heard Southern talk, I thought we were captured. I didn't know what that was. That's what you just most slam us me down. Haul off that crap.
You what?
I said, "Huh? Don't you have me, you dumb New York-looking song. Don't you tell me that, what?" I said, "I'm in the Army 3 minutes. I'm in Japan. How did I get it?" Anyway, he put his arm around me. He said, "Old Podsy, what's the matter, Podsy?" I said, "I don't hit the ball as far as I used to." He said, "Old Pods, don't none of us hit the ball as far as we used to." It was beautiful. Well, I'm here tonight.
I want to ask you one question.
Oh, go ahead.
Your mother, did she ever call you Buddy, or did she call you Leonard? Did she ever get around to calling you Buddy?
Bum. Bum.
Come on now.
Yes, bum. I said, "I'll make you a deal. Don't call me a bum. I won't tell anybody you're my mother."
Did she always call you Leonard?
My mother came to see me in Bill Miller's Riviera.
Right.
I said, "You come to see me in a nightclub." She says, "What's it like, a nightclub?" I said, "It's like a catered affair, like a wedding." So she baked a honey cake and brought along. Now, in my act, I used to talk about my folks. I talk about my mom. I said, "My mother," she stood and said, "That's me. Here, I'm the mother." And that was the end of me. I finished. Wiped out, canceled, and that's it.
Yeah.
She said, "What's the matter? They didn't like you?" Anyway, I'm here tonight.
Yes.
To talk about the First Amendment.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a real citizen, and including with Freddie and this show. A 3-letter word meaning the rear end of a person. I am not allowed to say it on this show.
That's correct.
You say it once in a while and get away once in a while.
No,
President Carter said it about a senator, and he got away with it. And I'm not allowed to say it.
George Bush also said it about Geraldine Ferraro.
Yeah.
Not on the show,
So
though.
am I not a citizen?
Of course you're a citizen.
Do I have to get elected before I can say rah-rah?
No. Okay.
I have to say buttocks.
Buttocks is accepted.
Buttocks is accepted, but the jokes don't work. You say, a blind man is walking across a boulevard with a dog, and it gets to an island, and the guy says, "Sir, I know you're blind. Is that your seeing eye dog?" "Yes." "That dog nearly got you killed. That dog nearly got you destroyed. That dog, you just were lucky." He says, "Really?" He says, "Yes." He reached in his pocket, he took out a cookie. He said, "The dog nearly killed you. You're going to give him a cookie?" He said, "I just want to find his head so I can kick him in the buttocks."
It loses.
That dog
No, it
nearly
loses.
got him killed. He should have kicked him in his... What the hell are you talking about? You're going to tell me that's the First Amendment?
First Amendment.
For heaven's sake. Here,
The
a
First Amendment does not give you the right to cry in a crowded theater.
Even if it's on fire.
That's right.
I like when you get crazy like I already am.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
A man takes a lady. You told me this. A man takes a
Now,
lady.
stay with the buttocks.
Yes,
Okay.
buttocks.
All right.
I ain't going to say that word no more.
Okay.
No. And incidentally, you don't have to, just because I'm coming out, mention Cabbage Patch. I knew right away what you meant.
Did you?
Last 2 shows, I don't look like Cary Grant, and today, just out of left field, Cabbage Patch. There was no payoff, no joke, nothing to it.
You don't get a royalty at all?
They offered to rebuttock my face.
No, you see, Cabbage Patch dolls are lovable. They're cuddly.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Okay.
All right.
A man takes a lady into an old colonial cemetery.
Does he now?
To perform an act of love.
Good.
On the old flat tombstone. And therein, they do perform an act of love, indeed. The next day, she complained of a backache.
Backache.
Pain.
Pain in the back.
He took her to the orthopod, the doctor, who said to her, "Would you disrobe?" And she disrobed. He said, "Would you turn around?" She turned around. He said, "How old are you?" She said, 28. Why? He says, "It says on your buttocks you died in 1784. It says on your buttocks.
It's still.
It says on your. It was plainly written on her.
Still.
What are you telling me?
We're going to be right back. Stay where you are.
Karen, give your family those vitamins. Well, why not? You buy cereal without sugar, jam without artificial color.
These have artificial color and sugar?
Or preservatives. Most leading vitamins do, but not Life Stage from Vicks. They're pure vitamins my family wants. Without additives, they don't. There's a women's formula with 50% more iron than one a day. A formula just for teens.
And a children's chewable without sugar.
And all pure.
I'm sold.
Life Stage. Pure vitamins your family wants without additives they don't. From Vicks.
Isotoner? What's that? Well, I have this friend who returns every gift I ever give her. Really? So this year I'm giving her gloves. Isotoner brand gloves by Eris. Good looking. And I know the size is right because there's only one size. The special Isotoner fabric adjusts to each finger for a custom fit. Isotoners fit like they were made for me. Well, in a way they were. Oh!
Give her the gift she won't return. Isotoner gloves by Eris.
Well,
I think you made a good point there.
My son Sandy, you know, he doesn't use any other kind of material I do. You know, because that HBO show I did, you know, it's so free.
Yes, it
and
is.
all that. In fact, I just signed a deal with
word.
HBO. I signed a deal for $6 million with HBO.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. This is the first they're hearing about it. I certainly would like them to sign.
If you can get them to sign, just sign a two-picture deal, right? Okay.
Sign, right? My son Sandy told me a story. He says, a duck walked into a drugstore. Now, the only drugstore I know is where a girl 7 or 8 years old walked into the druggist and said, "I'd like to buy some tampons." And the druggist said to her, "You would?" She said, "They're not for me, they're for my brother." "For your brother?" "Yes, for my brother. I was reading the advertisement and it said, with tampons you can ski, you can ride a bicycle, you can swim, and my brother can't do any of those things." So, but Sandy told me that a duck walked into the drugstore and said, "I'd like some chapstick." And the guy said, "Well, will this be charge or cash?" He said, "Just put it on my bill."
Oh, sure. Sure. 4 winners and they booed.
Now, let me ask you a question. I have another buttock story, which I think we should get to immediately. And also, I want to tell you, the reason I blame my own child for that joke is because I didn't trust it. He never heard the joke, but I figured he's young, he could take the pain.
That's right. What's the other joke now?
The other joke is a father in New Orleans. Now, New Orleans is a different type of Southern accent than the one I did before.
That's Texas, the other one, yeah.
The other one
Southern
was
Texas.
Texas. This is New Orleans. And there's a father, and he's got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. And they took him for something to eat. And the waitress said to the 6-year-old, "What do you have, sugar?" He said, "I have a goddamn cheeseburger." And his daddy hit him right alongside the head, knocked him out the chair. And the waitress tried to cover up and said to the 4-year-old, "What do you have, honey?" He says, "You bet your sweet buttocks I ain't ordering no dang cheeseburger." Now, he meant you bet your sweet nose.
Right. We're going to take a break here, and but we're going to come back, folks.
Think sensible, think Kotex. Think new, think thin. Think sensible, think Kotex.
From Kotex, new thins. Now Kotex makes a thin maxi pad. It's thin, sure, and has the protection you expect from a Kotex product. What's more, it costs less than other national brands.
Think sensible, think Kotex. Think new, think thin.
The new Thin Maxi from Kotex. Trusted protection, sensibly priced.
Only Benylin has it. Robitussin doesn't. Triaminic doesn't. Neither does any other cough medication. Only Benylin contains diphenhydramine, the exclusive cough suppressant introduced by doctors to over 30 million people. Benylin, same full strength available today without prescription to relieve your cough hour after hour. Benylin from PARKE-DAVIS, helping your pharmacist and your doctor help your health.
Our next guest has been nominated twice for Academy Awards for The World According to Garp, also for Terms of Endearment. He has a supporting role in 2010. He'll be co-starring with George Segal on Broadway next March in Requiem for a Heavyweight. Would you welcome John Lithgow? Nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Welcome to the show. We've never really, I don't think, crossed paths before, have we?
Not once. This is the first time.
Yeah, I admire your work.
Thank you. I admire yours.
Thank you. Well, now that we got that out of the way, you're a friend of George Segal. You're going to do Requiem.
Yes.
For Heavyweight.
Actually, I'm a friend as of today. We had lunch today for the first time.
Now, George has been here a lot of times on the show. Did you tell him you're going to be on tonight?
Yes. Yes, he gave me a lot of coaching. He told me exactly how to handle the Carson show. And then Buddy Hackett coached me backstage.
Right.
There's absolutely no way I'm going to die on this show. Of course, George wasn't that much help. He just told me if I got nervous to play the banjo.
That bails George out of a lot of predicaments, play the banjo. You've done more, actually, stage work than films, right? Your dad, I understand, used to run a repertory theater or Shakespearean?
Well, lots of different repertory in Shakespeare and stock theaters in Ohio when I was growing up.
Did you want to be an actor then when you saw the people doing that?
No, not remotely.
Why?
Actually, I did do a lot of acting as a kid, but I think it was mostly... you find that actors don't really tend to encourage young people to act. Of course, you only become an actor if you're fool enough to ignore that advice.
Right.
But, I mean, growing up, absolutely nobody encouraged me.
Right.
I wanted to be an artist or something. But somehow I fell into it, sort of acting for the fun of it at college, and people began applauding and laughing, and I was seduced.
That always happens, whether you do comedy or acting. You get on stage, you get the reaction, and say, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered doing anything else?
Not really. I think acting is simply the thing I do best, I think, and, you know, having failed at a few other things.
Like what?
Well, being a miserable taxi cab driver.
You drive a taxi cab where, in New York?
Yes, a couple of times. I informed Joan Rivers of this last time I was on the show, yes. I drove a cab twice, only twice. It made me limp, and I had to take a cab home after it was all over.
So did you ever do, somebody told me you did a one-man show. Was that true?
Yes, that was, I devised and acted, even directed a one-man show based on George S. Kaufman in New York. It was one of my more recent New York performances and one of the least successful ones. I think that's the closest I've ever come to stand-up comedy. You know, you get out on stage and you know within the first couple of minutes whether you're going to die or not, and you just have to press on. In my case, I had to press on for 2 hours.
Now, it was just monologue, but scripted. I mean,
yeah, it was scripted and in a way dramatic, at least it's sort of hoped to be dramatic every evening.
And
sometimes was.
Yeah.
There was one New Year's Eve when I had to perform it, and there were about 30 people there in an audience, in a theater that held 250. And I just came downstage and I said, gather round, get in the first 3 rows. And in fact, it was about the best performance I ever had.
Yeah, well, they sympathize with you.
Yeah.
No, that'll happen sometime. 30 people, you got to go on anyway.
Yeah.
You said, somebody told me that one of the critics, it doesn't seem to like you, and I don't know why. That happens with certain critics. Was it
Yes.
Walter
Kerr was my bête noire. He liked me my first time out, but then I think 2, 3, 4 times he absolutely savaged me. There was something, I think I was too tall for him or something. I once found myself sitting next to him at an opening night. We both had the grace not to acknowledge each other, I think. But I did notice he was wearing this sort of iridescent orange necktie with those sort of black Chinese junks against little Chinese sunsets. And I thought, well, anyone who can wear a tie like that, his taste can be pretty much discounted.
You got to rationalize it real quickly
Right.
if somebody doesn't like you. Tell me about 2010. This is fascinating.
Well, it's everything I do, and it takes place in outer space.
Right.
The story takes off from the end of 2001. We are basically a crew that goes out into the sort of space fields around Jupiter and its moons to resuscitate the old abandoned Discovery spacecraft. It's a joint Russian and American mission out there, and I play a rocket engineer who never was intended to be an astronaut. He has created rockets, but he's never ridden on them before.
You know what's fascinating about something like 2010? When we were all kids, Buck Rogers was talking about the 25th century, another 400 and some years away. Here we are already having the capability of doing exactly this. And probably it might even happen before the year 2010, if you think about it.
I mean, the extraordinary thing about this film is that it takes, I mean, we've all seen in the last year or so, and the last 10 years, extravehicular activity and astronauts actually dealing with machinery out there outside of spacecraft. This is the first film that really sort of realistically recreates the drama of that and turns it into a story.
We have a little film clip. Is this in that general scene from the EVA type of activity?
I'm out in space and terrified.
Okay, watch the monitor. Here's a little excerpt from 2010.
Do you speak any Russian? No, that's okay. I speak English real. I'm fogging up.
Hey, Colonel. Have you heard the one about the marathon runner and the chicken?
Don't patronize me. I'm getting nauseous.
If you buy the fuel, choke. Don't close your eyes. Look at the middle of Discovery. The middle, not the ends. Look at the part where it's moving the least. Don't take your eyes off it.
I'm not going to throw up. I'm an engineer. Maybe you better patronize me a little. What about the marathon runner?
I made it up.
Oh, I'm looking amidship now.
You see any lights?
No lights. 70 meters.
You're almost there. How's that for patronizing?
Not bad. 50 meters. Hey, Max, how do you say chicken? Kurica. 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 You speak better than me. Sure.
40 meters.
Don't close your eyes. Don't breathe too deep. Christ, this thing is big.
15 meters. Look straight ahead. The center section is hardly moving. That's where we'll grab hold. 10 meters. You're doing great, Colonel. 5 meters.
4, 3.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. You know what is... That is really fascinating.
Now, that's good, but you should see it on a huge screen. I mean, it's breathtaking.
You know, it's tough in a way for an actor to work in a movie like this because very often, while the audience, when you see this, see all of the effects and the gadgetry, very often the actor is working almost in limbo and reacting to something that is magically put on the screen later. So you have to do all those reactions against sometimes nothing, right?
Yeah, well, it's usually with a big blue screen in back of you, and a lot of technicians, and you're going...
Yeah.
It means it's just how your powers of imagination. And then they mat in all that extraordinary stuff later.
What is fascinating when you watch that, and then a few weeks ago when you were watching the astronauts outside of the spaceship, it almost looked like animation. They were sending these live pictures back from space, and you looked at it, and it looked like something you'd see in the movies, and people are becoming so inured to it now that then the thing went up and it landed, and I think television devoted about 2 minutes to the landing and the takeoff, and that was it.
Yeah.
Where a few years ago, you'd have been glued to your set. It's becoming like a bus ride to Barstow. Nothing is like, no, I don't even want to get into Barstow.
Well, it's an amazing thing. I mean, that little piece that we just saw, I think it lasted, about 2 minutes. It probably took about 3 weeks to do. I mean, just so many different angles and so many devices. We were hung by wires. We played one entire, the scene all the way through hanging upside down at one point.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. Look forward to seeing it, 2010. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
I just had to come in here and see for myself. I don't believe he did this. And I thought the big surprise was going to be birthday cake for dessert, not diamonds. Especially not diamonds like these. Oh, they're beautiful. Do I look any different? I feel like everyone was looking at me. And silly me. I didn't think anything could make me feel as good as being married to him.
Give her diamonds of quality and see how good she feels.
Where is he? There he is! So, what was it like? What was it like?
The best.
Nothing like a fried quarter pounder, because check it out. It's flame broiled.
Burger King presents Flame Broiled Doubles, the double hamburger, double cheeseburger, and bacon double cheeseburger, so you never have to eat a fried quarter pounder again.
Do you think I could have a double? Follow me.
The picture looks fascinating. Really looks fascinating.
It's great.
Must have been a joy to work in that.
It was a wonderful show to do, and it's terrific to see.
And open around the country. I hope it's a big hit for you.
And we're all going to go see it, right?
Right, buddy. Your coach over there.
Yes, he's my coach.
So you're going to be down at the Concord, up at the Concord on December 30th. Caesars, Atlantic City, the 31st. And then where'd you say you're going?
February 7th, I opened the old Diplomat in Miami.
Down in Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Irving and Marge, remember them?
Yeah. Good to see you. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Thank you, John. Tomorrow night, Stephen Wright will be here. Marilyn Horn, and we have a wedding consultant. If you planning to get married, her name is Isabel Campbell. She's 90 years old. What? She wanted to work with me. A little late for Isabel. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow night.